SML has made over 155 videos in 2024, with some of them being bangers and others not so much. And today, we're gonna rank them all from worst to best, starting with by far the worst SML video of this year, Stinkin'. And I don't even think I need to explain why this video is so bad. The whole plot is just based around Cody getting Ken stuck up his ass. And in this video, they do a bunch of really weird and confusing things, like a Family Guy style cutaway coming 3 minutes late, Junior doing Fortnite dances, and literal minutes of filler on the red couch that add nothing to the plot, and so much more on top of the already weird concept for this video. This video is so bad that not even Joseph wanted to stay for it.
Jesus.
Is it weird that I want to taste it?
Alright, that's enough of me. I'm out.
But it doesn't get much better in this next video, Cody's hot dog restaurant. A whole video that's based around Cody and Timmy owning a hot dog restaurant. And this video just goes about as well as you could imagine.
Suck me. Man, Timmy, business is booming. Timmy, don't choke on the product. Do it. Bad, Timmy.
But funnily enough, this video actually got age restricted by YouTube. In a vlog Logan made called YouTube Got Mad at Me, he explains that he deleted the video once it got age restricted because he was scared of YouTube coming after his channel again. So now it only exists through re-uploaded channels. Yeah, let's hope we never get a video like that again. Now, if you thought Stinkin' and Cody's hot dog restaurant were already bad enough, Jeffy's Naughty Magazine somehow manages to be just as much of a train wreck. The entire plot is just about the characters looking at adult magazines, and the title is Jeffy's Naughty Magazine, but he literally only appears for like 30 seconds of the video. Now, the premise itself could have been funny if done right, although it still would have been very questionable, but the fact that this entire video was blurred just makes it borderline uncomfortable to watch. The only reason this video isn't ranked higher is because I thought this was kind of funny. At number 152, we have Cody's Stolen Penny. Now, this episode is just straight up frustrating. It takes what should be a minor misunderstanding and stretches it into an overblown, rage-inducing mess. Cody is completely unreasonable the entire time, refusing to believe anything other than Junior stole his penny, no matter how ridiculous the accusation sounds. And after all that chaos, the penny was stuck to a lint roller the entire time. That's it. No clever twist, no satisfying payoff, nothing. Just a reveal that's so underwhelming that it feels like the episode was a complete waste of time. Even the comments agree that this video sucked, which almost never happens because YouTube comments are typically pretty positive. I've never been more bored in my life. You know it's bad when the comments are not full of SML never disappoints. This video made me go back and watch older SML videos. I miss when SML used to be more fun to watch. And now we have the Krabby Patty meal, which could have actually been a good video. Wendy's releases a Krabby Patty meal, and the gang decides to try it. Sounds simple, right? Well, that's the problem. It's too simple. The entire video is just the characters getting hyped for a fast food meal, only to be disappointed when it inevitably doesn't live up to the expectations. And that's literally the entire joke. Just a basic expectations versus reality joke stretched into an entire episode. And I get that the meal was actually just bad, but maybe they could have had Ronald McDonald steal the secret formula from Wendy's and make his own Krabby Patty meal to compete with Wendy's. Or just something more creative than what we got. Now, Jeffy the Spy is a little bit different from the others on the list so far. Not because it's a good video, but because of the controversy surrounding it. At first glance, this is just another Jeffy video, but the real issue is the way it plays out. The plot involves Jeffy and Marvin getting falsely accused of being Chinese spies, leading to a ton of straight up racist jokes in the video, which isn't really anything new for SML, but people complained so much in the comments about this that Logan had to make an apology. Sorry if anyone was offended by this video. We're trying our best not to upset anyone. All of our videos are just meant to entertain you guys. Sometimes we include dark humor, and I understand it's not for everyone. There will be a new video Monday. Thank you for watching and supporting our channel. 2024 had a lot of really forgettable videos, and I mean a lot. More than any other year in SML SML history. So to prevent this video from being 48 hours long, I'm gonna skip through a bunch of these boring, forgettable videos until we get to something more interesting. The talent show, Jeffy's scream, Brooklyn guy's ear problem, the business deal, the homeless makeover, the Dalmatian, Junior's trust issues, Junior's bracelet, Magic Marvin, Jeffy's Mother's Day, Pac-Man's divorce, the power outage, the rigged game, Brooklyn guy's sad day, Chef Junior, the hostage situation, Easter Bunny goes to jail, Abraham Lincoln, Brooklyn guy tries to help, Scooby-Doo, the Grinch Happy Meal, Satan Claus, Junior's crazy assumption, Junior's assumption. No, this isn't a mistake. These two videos were both made this year, and they're literally basically the same thing. And Jeffy the chiropractor. Alright, so Amber Alert. This had the potential to be a solid video, but man, they completely fumbled it. The premise is actually kind of interesting. Junior, Joseph, Cody, and Jeffy get an Amber Alert about a kidnapped girl, and decide to go find her. Sounds like it could lead to some funny or even intense moments, right? Well, no. Instead of following through with this idea, they get distracted because Jeffy wants a freaking Filet-O-Fish from McDonald's. I wish I was joking. What could have been a fun, fast-paced video quickly turns into a mess. Instead of actually trying to be heroes, Junior acts like a complete idiot and pretty much ruins everything. And just when you think it can't get dumber, Cody ends up getting kidnapped instead. This could have been funny, but the video treats it like a complete joke. Cody getting abused for no reason has always been a big issue in these videos, but here, it's just mean-spirited, and he doesn't even try to be funny. And to make things even worse, the original ending was removed because it was too dark, and the new ending is literally just nothing. Like, quite literally, Logan cut out the ending because the video got age restricted. Great. No payoff, no satisfying conclusion, just an awkward, rushed ending that makes the whole thing feel pointless. Now, we have Junior's stealing problem. Alright, this one is just fine. The plot revolves around Junior and Cody trying to be cool like Bully, but somehow this leads to them stealing chips from the gas station in one of the dumbest ways possible. Sounds funny, right? Well, it drags a lot. Brooklyn guy shows up because of course he does, and instead of keeping things moving, he just goes on and on with long monologues and adds nothing to the plot. Bro, get to the point! The jokes are so stretched out that it feels like half of the video is just filler, which completely kills the pacing. There are some positives though. The gas station set is actually cool, Camille Habib Habab makes a return, and the ridiculous way Cody and Junior try to prove themselves is actually kind of funny, but it doesn't land as well as it should have. Overall, this one isn't bad, but it's not anything special either. If they cut down on the filler and made things snappier, it could have been a lot better. Jeffy competes in the Olympics. Jeffy joins the Special Olympics. Yes, they actually went there, and from the start, you can tell they did not think this one through. Instead of making a fun, creative Olympic-themed episode, they make it all about Jeffy competing against disabled athletes for laughs. And no, the jokes don't land. This video is mostly basic sports challenges like basketball and swimming, but the entire time, the humor is just uncomfortable. They keep doubling down on the fact that it's the Special Olympics, and while it never feels like they're making fun of the event itself, it does feel like they're just using it as an easy joke. Like, why not just put Jeffy in the normal Olympics with actual stakes? Instead, they just throw him in there and expect us to laugh because, what, he's Jeffy? Even Brooklyn guy, who usually carries the weaker episodes, is just there. He has a few funny moments, but he can't even save this one. And that ending. Bro, what even was that? Instead of a proper conclusion, they just end the video abruptly because they ran out of ideas. This one had potential to be a fun competition episode, but instead, it's just uncomfortable and forgettable. These next 22 videos are a bunch of really forgettable ones. So bad to the point where I couldn't even remember them and had to rewatch them just to rank them for this video. And let me know down in the comments below if you could remember any of these, because I genuinely couldn't remember anything. So at number 121, we have Jeffy the Evil Scientist. At 120 is The Big Race. And then we have Jeffy's Moon Cheese, Junior Sports Drink, Junior Sues McDonald's, The Pot of Gold, Junior Finds a Missing Plane, Bad Super Bowl Commercials, Junior's Valentine's Day Gift, Junior Kidnaps Penelope, The Purple Problem, Billy Wants to Be Cool, Jeffy's Lego Competition, Junior's Favorite Cereal, The Toy Ray, Junior's Stepmom, Shrek 5, Brooklyn Guy Gets Robbed, Bat Jeffy, Junior the Gift Thief, Scream 2, Dougie's Call of Duty Heist, and Dougie's KFC Pizza. And now we're on to Jeffy's Escape Room. Alright, this one had so much potential, but the execution just falls flat. The idea of the kids tackling an escape room challenge could have been awesome, but instead of thrilling puzzles, clever problem solving, or even fun chaos, we get Brooklyn Guy. And in this video, he just leads himself through a bunch of impossible puzzles that don't even exist. Like, bro, what even is this? Instead of building tension or making the challenge actually exciting, it's literally just Brooklyn Guy rambling and dragging out mundane tasks that have nothing to do with the plot. Escape rooms are supposed to be fun, engaging, but this totally misses the mark. On the positive sides, there are some funny moments though, especially Jackie Chu's unexpected appearance where he just comes in and starts yapping about cats and dogs, which adds a little bit of spice to the otherwise bland video. But here's the real kicker. This was the 1000th SML movie, and yet it didn't feel special at all. No big celebration, no major callbacks, nothing. Just another forgettable episode that feels rushed and lacking creativity. For such a milestone episode, this was a huge letdown. Jeffy Dahmer. Man, what were they thinking with this one? SML has done some dark humor before, but Jeffy Dahmer completely crosses the line. Instead of just being a goofy parody, it dives way too deep into making jokes about real-life murders, and it just feels wrong. The whole setup is basically Jeffy being mistaken for Jeffrey Dahmer, which could have been a funny misunderstanding, but the jokes they go for, yeah, they're just straight up uncomfortable. The biggest issue though, the concept itself is just bad. It's one of those things you really can't make lighthearted, so instead of being funny, it just feels weird. That being said, there are a few decent moments, like the drone scene, and Brooklyn Guy at least tries to be funny, but it's nowhere near enough to save the episode. And honestly, this one just shouldn't have been made. There was no way this was gonna work as an SML video. Jeffy's pet squirrel. Alright, this one is just there. Jeffy brings home a wild squirrel. Yeah, you already know exactly how this is gonna go. The biggest problem though is that this video literally has nothing new or exciting to offer. The humor is super repetitive, relying on Jeffy's usual antics, which at this point are kind of predictable and stale. There are a few funny moments though, like Chef Pee-Pee's reactions to the peanuts, but after that, it's kind of just the same old stuff. It feels like this episode only exists to fill time, and when it's over, there's nothing memorable about it. Definitely one of the most forgettable SML videos. Alright, this one had so much potential. Brooklyn Guy as the president? This could have been gold, but instead of being a hilarious, chaotic mess, it kind of just exists. The biggest issue though is it's just boring. It should have been filled with a bunch of crazy, over-the-top executive orders and wild political satire, but instead, Brooklyn Guy just sits around complaining for most of the video. Bro, you're the president. Do something funny. There are some solid moments though, mainly Brooklyn Guy's reactions to the insane responsibilities thrown at him. He's great at being a stressed out mess, I'll give him that, and that could have carried the entire video if they leaned into it more, but the pacing is just so slow. By the time things actually start happening, the episode is basically over, and then the ending, yeah, he gets impeached, but that's about all to it. It feels like they had an idea, but didn't know what to do with it, so they just dragged things out until they ran out of time. I know it seems like I'm just being negative in this video so far, and to be fair, that's true, but these videos down the list start to get a lot better. But for now, we have a bunch of videos that had really high potential, but kind of just fell flat. Videos I would put here are Night Swim, Terrifier, The Burger Problem, The Father's Day Heist, Goodman Goes to Jail, Dougie the Hitman, Inside Jeffy 2, Jeffy Ball Z Episode 5, and Jeffy's Piano Lessons. John F. Kennedy. Alright, so SML really went for it with this one, making a parody of one of the most significant historical events, the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. And let's be real, this is easily one of the most controversial episodes. The fact they had the balls to make this is honestly kinda crazy, I'm not gonna lie. Also, SML's been making a ton of videos about real life stuff recently. Have you guys noticed that? Brooklyn Guy's clones. This is the definition of a middle-of-the-road SML video. Not bad, not great, it's just kinda there. The idea of Brooklyn Guy making clones to handle a million jobs is a great premise. There was so much potential here. Like maybe the clones take over his life, maybe they go rogue, maybe something insane happens. But instead, the video kinda just coasts on the idea without really doing much with it. The clones, well, funny at first with their exaggerated personalities, kind of get boring pretty fast. There's nothing really awful about it, it's just one of those episodes where you watch it, chuckle a few times, and then completely completely forget about it. Jeffy's Fast and Furious. This video had potential to be really good. The cinematography was top-notch, the energy was there, and overall it felt like a high-stakes SML video. However, it's impossible to talk about the video without addressing the serious incident that happened during its production. While filming, Logan, the creator of SML, was involved in an accident that resulted in a broken back.
Because I was like, this car will stop. So I tried going into a turn at 90 while stopping because I was like, this car stops all the time. But there was no tread on the tire. And so it started skidding.
The accident not only impacted the SML filming schedule, but also raised major concerns about the extreme lengths he's taken for content creation. Fans expressed their worries, emphasizing that safety should always come first over entertainment. While the video itself is entertaining, it's completely overshadowed by the real-life consequences faced by its creator. This serves as a serious reminder that no matter how cool a video might look, health and safety should always be a priority. The free pizza. This video was honestly pretty good. The ending half with the last half of the video with Brooklyn Guy rushing around town as fast as he can to deliver the pizza in 5 minutes, while the trio tries to stop him, is actually really entertaining. The only thing that brings this video down, however, is the really slow beginning. And I usually don't talk about thumbnails, but bro, Logan, you do not need this much text in your thumbnail. Like, okay, I get the point. You don't gotta put the whole dictionary in there, bro. Brooklyn Guy's missing wife. First off, Deborah's voice. Oh my god, what were they thinking with this?
I was just wondering if you picked up Penelope from school today!
Yes, I did, Deborah.
Oh, thank you! And I saw what happened to your wife and she got kidnapped. Oh, what a shame!
It is so obnoxious that it makes every single scene with her just painful to sit through. They could have made her funny, but instead, they just made her as annoying as humanly possible. And then there's the pacing. Why is this video so slow? Every joke feels like it gets stretched way longer than it needs to be. And by the time things actually start happening, you're already kind of over it. Oh, and let's not forget the random sponsor thrown right in the middle of the video. Bro, nothing kills the immersion faster than that. This video just feels like a wasted opportunity. At the end of the day, it's not a bad video, it's just meh. Great concept, but ruined by a new character, slow pacing, and way too much filler. The Avengers of D. This episode is just weird. Like, who came up with this idea? The whole premise of bringing together all of Rose's ex-boyfriends to form a superhero team called the Avengers of D is just already bizarre. But somehow, the execution makes it even weirder. First off, the humor feels forced. The jokes don't land, and the interactions between characters just come off as kind of awkward rather than funny. Even Brooklyn Guy, who usually carries these type of videos, completely falls flat here, literally yapping for multiple minutes on end about stuff completely unrelated. Bro, how do you mess it up that bad? And then there's the plot, or lack of one. Instead of having a solid storyline, the video just jumps from scene to scene with no real connection. It's hard to stay engaged because nothing really flows together. At the end of the day, the Avengers of D had potential, but it just doesn't hit the mark. It's not the worst episode ever, but it's definitely not one you'll remember either. And now we're pretty much halfway through the list, and we're at the point where videos aren't really bad, but they're not really super memorable either. So to save your time, let's just skip through a bunch of these mediocre videos. We have Trick or Treat, The Hide and Seek Problem, Santa's Revenge, Kendrick Lamar, President Marvin, The Tornado, The Alien Attack, Brooklyn Guy the Mind Reader, Jeffy and the Jeffy Monks, Jeffy's Happy Song, Jeffy's Mad Cow Disease, The Stakeout, Junior's Real Name, Goodman's Apple Vision Pro, Jeffy's Shooting Star, Jeffy Breaks Marvin's Bat, Junior the Boxer, The Golden Nugget, Jeffy's Scary Bedtime Story, Jeffy the Lawyer, Junior Gets His Ear Pierced, Jeffy's Forget Ray, Cody Peterson, Brooklyn Guy Gets Cheated On, Cody's Lunchly, Chef Pee-Pee's Kiss, Goodman's Heart Transplant, Jeffy's Mail Order Bride, Superpowers 3, and Junior's Game Night 8. Alright, in Junior's Game Night 8, the gang dive back into board games, which inevitably leads to chaos. This time though, there's a twist as Penelope joins, which adds a new dynamic to the group, and honestly, it's kind of just like, eh. Overall, the episode's entertaining, but it doesn't stand out much from the other game night videos. The formula is pretty much the same, and while the character interactions are fun, there's a sense of familiarity that just keeps anything from being exceptional in this video. So yeah, Junior's Game Night 8 was fun, but let's be real, all these videos are kind of the same at this point. They're cool, but they don't really bring anything new to the table. And now now we have Summer School Part 3, Summer School Part 2, and Summer School Part 1. This series was honestly kind of mid. There's nothing really inherently wrong with it. It's just very hard to compare it to the original Summer School series from all the way back in 2014. SML has been going on for so long at this point where it's hard for them to think of completely new and original ideas for videos. And it kind of just shows with this series, with them reusing a bunch of previous things we've seen in the show. The next few videos on this list though are actually pretty good. We have Jeffy's Traffic Light, Jeffy the Dealer, The Acorn, Goodman's Bodyguard, Cody Dies, Marvin's Birthday, Cody the Killer, Cody's Big Move, Jeffy's Lie Detector, Jeffy's Voice Changer, Shrek's Endless Cheesecake, Marvin's Revenge, Brooklyn Guy's Tax Fraud, The Santa Heist, Jeffy's Club, and Goodman's Turkey. And now we're on to the top 30, where I can confidently say that every video beyond this point is a banger, starting with Final Destination. And this video is a wild ride from start to finish. SML goes all out with this parody of the Final Destination movies, and it actually keeps you on the edge of your seat with all of the weird ways that characters die in this video. There's only one small downside though. Brooklyn Guy's constant bragging gets a little annoying after a while, but honestly, it doesn't take away from how solid this episode is. This video stands out a lot to me. Easily one of the most unique and memorable SML videos in a while. Alright, at 29 we have Jeffy's diss track, and this one is honestly just fun. Jeffy going full on SoundCloud rapper mode is always entertaining, and the fact that this whole rap beef starts over a Rocket League match is the most Jeffy thing I've ever seen. And when he finally drops his diss track, I Spank My Diaper Very Hard, it's about as ridiculous as you'd expect, and honestly, it kinda slaps.
Yeah, I spank my diaper very hard. I spank that bitch. I walk my booty back and front, smell it balls. Yeah, I spank my diaper very hard. I spank that bitch.
That being said, the actual conflict is way overblown. Like Junior, Joseph, and Cody getting this mad over some in-game trash talk? Bro, it's just Rocket League. It definitely feels like they forced this drama just so they could justify the diss tracks. And speaking of raps, they're actually pretty well made. Sister Location. Alright, so SML finally did a Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location parody, and honestly, it's pretty solid. The sets they built for this video are actually incredible. The video goes like this. Brooklyn Guy rebuilds Freddy Fazbear's Pizza and invites Marvin and Jeffy for a tour. And then the majority of this video is just them exploring the location. They even throw in a fun twist with Penelope being Circus Baby, which is actually kind of cool. The only real issue though is that the ending is weirdly abrupt. Instead of some big finale, Brooklyn Guy just randomly breaks the fourth wall and straight up says, "Alright, series over." Like, what? And you know what? Actually, no, fair enough. Everything after Sister Location is just way too long and complicated. Never mind, good call, Brooklyn Guy. King Joseph. Where do I even start with this one? The plot kicks off when some random guy from Eswatini shows up to the SML house claiming that Joseph is their new king. And next thing you know, the gang is heading to Africa, where we see Joseph as an African king, which is weirdly funny. And the scenery of this video is actually kind of refreshing to see. The jungle setting looks cool, and the dynamic between Junior, Joseph, and Cody gives off the classic 2015 energy. But let's talk about the racial humor in this video, because oh boy, SML did not hold back. Some jokes actually landed pretty well, playing into the absurdity of the situation without being too offensive. But then there's Judith. Judith literally blackfaces.
Cody, it's your dad. You know we put the scam together so we can pay the bills. You know how it be.
Damn it, Tyrone, I can't believe they figured it out. What, Mom?
Yeah, Judy, go ahead, get out that damn blackface.
Like, full on, no shame, straight up paints herself brown because she wanted to fit in. Coming in at number 26, 25, and 24 is Junior's Big Playtime 2, 3, and 4. And yeah, there's not really much to say about these Playtime videos. They're always just bangers, even though it's a reboot of their old series. But another video that's technically a part of a series is the Christmas play. The setup is simple enough. Jackie Chu forces the class to put on a Christmas play. Santa shows up, and suddenly the pressure is on. But instead of a normal play, we get Joseph singing hood versions of Christmas songs, Cody and Timmy going full on Broadway mode, Junior being a bootleg puppet, and so much more. And then it completely falls apart. Joseph pulls out a gun on stage and starts teaching kids how to rob stores for free TVs. Bro, what? The best part though is Junior and the gang just roll with it like it's a normal Christmas lesson. No one questions it. This episode was awesome. The school play videos are always really good. Alright, coming in at number 22, we have Junior's Big Hero 6 problem. And this is one of those classic Junior loses his mind over something dumb episodes. And somehow, it works perfectly. Junior's absolute hatred for Big Hero 6 is so ridiculous. The fact that he literally destroys his PS5 just because Joseph and Cody wear Baymax skins in Fortnite is completely unhinged. But then we get Mr. Epic Games. Easily the best part of the episode. This dude is so rich and careless that he straight up hates how easy his job is. He won't even add Mickey Mouse to Fortnite because he already has too much money. And the way he just sits there, fully entertained by Junior losing his mind, is absolute peak SML. Easily, Mr. Epic Games is one of the funniest one-time characters we've seen in a while. This video is absolutely ridiculous in the best ways possible. At 21, we have Mr. Hoodman. So it starts off like any other Goodman episode, with him being rich and awful to Marvin. But then we get the wildest revelation ever. Goodman has a long-lost brother, and the best part, he's also rich. And then there's the running joke where he treats Chives like an actual dog, making him stay and even fetch. But the real highlight, Mr. Hoodman. His introduction is hilarious, with Goodman whispering in disgust that his own brother is black, only to immediately drop the act when he finds out that Mr. Hoodman is just as rich as he is. From that point on, the whole episode turns into a flex battle, with the brothers competing to see who's richer. Then we get the insane twist. Hoodman's quote-unquote butler is actually just some random scammer who was able to steal Goodman's Lamborghini and sell it for scrap. And what does Goodman do? He calls the cops on Mr. Hoodman without even thinking twice. Bro really threw his own brother under the bus like that. This is one of the best Goodman episodes we've seen in a long time. And now we're on to the top 20, starting with Jeffy's Ding Dong Ditch. Junior, Joseph, and Cody go ding dong ditching, and Brooklyn Guy completely misreads the situation, thinking it's a game of hide and seek. Watching him lose his mind while replaying the doorbell cam footage is amazing. But then Jeffy joins in, and somehow it gets even funnier. Instead of just running away like a normal person, he just stands there like a complete idiot and gets caught immediately. And then when Brooklyn Guy shows up furious, Jeffy is just chilling like nothing happened. But the second half, oh my god, it's fully unhinged. Brooklyn Guy tells the legend of Ding Dong Ditch Mitch, some random kid who itched himself to death after ding dong ditching the witch. Bro, where did this even come from? And of course, Junior being Junior, he immediately wants to ding dong ditch the witch too. And Jeffy, being Jeffy, ends up cursed with endless itching. They'll never learn, will they? Now we have Cody Goes to Kindergarten Part 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And this series is actually really well done. The whole concept for this video is that Cody is born on a leap year, so instead of being 16, he's technically only 4 years old. And when Jackie Chu finds out, he sends him back to kindergarten, where we meet a whole bunch of new characters. We even get a new teacher, and honestly, I couldn't recommend that you guys watch this series enough, as it's probably one of the best series that SML has made in years. Honestly, this is the summer school series they tried this year done right. And now, taking the number 13th spot is Jeffy's bowling ball, and this video is just pure chaos. Right off the bat, the setup is already insane. Jeffy is losing his mind at the bowling alley because his friends won't stop roasting him for losing, and instead of handling it like a normal person, he comes home, finds the door locked, and smashes it open with his bowling ball twice. And then we get Marvin's freak out, which is easily the best part of the episode. The second he sees the shattered door, he thinks it's Jeffy and snaps, throwing a ton of threats at him like military school, homelessness, or even straight up kicking him out of the house. Bro went nuclear. But then the video randomly shifts gears, and we get Brooklyn Guy's story about his arch nemesis, Bobby Bowling Hands. The fact that Marvin actually believed it for a second is kind of funny. Marvin is so gullible. But the real highlight is the doorbell camera reveal. The second Marvin sees it was Jeffy the whole time, he immediately snaps, beats him up, and steals his piggy bank, only to realize it's full of pennies. And then he just starts choking Jeffy out of pure rage. This is one of the funniest Marvin meltdowns I've seen in a long time. The pacing is perfect, the episode never slows down, and the ending is just so abrupt and insane that it works perfectly. Only SML can turn something as dumb as a bowling ball into a banger video. But coming in at number 12, we have Jeffy Goes to a Diddy Party. And I still can't believe that this video actually exists. SML has done some wild episodes before, but making a video about Jeffy sneaking into P. Diddy's final freak-off before going to prison? Yeah, this is just next level insanity. It starts with Cody being hyped about the Diddy party they have going on, but then they look on the news and see that he's getting arrested. And instead of being mad about what Diddy actually did, did, Cody is just disappointed that another one of his favorite celebrities turned into a menace. Bro, Cody, priorities, come on. But easily the best part is when they get into the actual Diddy party. Junior, Jeffy, Cody, and even somehow Marvin get inside. And then Diddy gives the most unhinged speech of all time about fluid everywhere and getting nasty. And for a second, you would completely forget this is a Jeffy video. And just when you think things can't get any crazier, Brooklyn guy bursts in. This dude pulls an actual FBI raid. And Diddy, he tries to escape while yelling.
Oh man, I better go pipe man ass before I get arrested.
This video is so insane that it shouldn't exist, but God, I'm glad it does. Taking the number 11th spot, we have the Mall Santa. So Marvin gets a job as a Mall Santa, already a disaster waiting to happen. But then SML cranks up the insanity meter to maximum overdrive. First, we get David, the most hardcore Santa trainer ever. This dude treats Mall Santa boot camp like he's training Navy SEALs. He's out here yelling, exposing dark secrets about the past Santas, and just completely being unhinged. Then we get to the mall. But of course, Jeffy immediately ruins everything. He loses his mind over meeting quote-unquote Santa, and literally takes a dump on Marvin's lap. Bro, why? And then things get even wilder. Mikey asks Santa for his dad to stop beating him, and then gets pepper sprayed instead, because Brooklyn guy wanted the line to move faster. But then Santa himself shows up, and he straight up murders David. And then after the end, when everyone goes home, Santa sneaks into Brooklyn guy's house and watches him wake up, roasting his 2-second stamina. Bro got cooked by Santa Claus. Santa Claus! This video is absolute madness, and that's why I think it makes one of the best SML Christmas specials ever. But now at number 10, we have Junior the truck driver. So Junior finally turns 16, and like any delusional teenager, he expects a brand new Corvette. But instead, Braxton gifts him an entire semi-truck and a full-time job as a truck driver. Bro, what? At first glance, this seems like another crazy SML birthday gift. But then, somehow, Junior actually gets the job as a truck driver. And the next thing you know, he's using trucker language like he's been doing this for years. He knows all about lot lizards. Why does he know about lot lizards? He literally disappears for months. And when he comes back, he's unrecognizable. The dude went full-on trucker mode. Fat, greasy, he smells like fast food and regret. And somehow, he's now in debt, paying child support for 3 kids, and married to Penelope. And she's even bigger than him. And then we get one of the most legendary SML fights of all time. Junior and Penelope start arguing about who's fatter, and they start bumping bellies. But then, just when you think it can't get any dumber, it does. Junior's trucker lifestyle literally kills him. His heart gives out from eating too many fast food meals and energy drinks. He crashes into traffic and kills 27 people. But somehow, he gets 0 consequences because this wasn't a medical emergency. And what's Junior's first reaction when he wakes up in the hospital? Not about the 27 people he unalived. Nope, he's just mad that Penelope got even bigger. This video is an absolute masterpiece. Now at number 9, we have Brooklyn Guy's makeover. And let's be real, this one is all about the puppet change. Brooklyn Guy's new look isn't super different, but it honestly is a much needed upgrade. The biggest fix though? No more bald spots, baby, let's go. After years of being roasted for his receding hairline, this dude finally has a full head of hair. And wait, he actually has legs now. Oh, never mind, that gets removed by the end of the video. The actual plot, pretty solid, but honestly it's nothing noteworthy. The reason this one's so high on the list is just because of how much impact it's had on the show. Now at number 8, we have Impractical Jokesters. And if you love the TV show Impractical Jokers, you'll probably love this video. It starts off normal enough. Junior, Cody, and Jeffy are just chilling, watching the SML version of Impractical Jokers. But instead of laughing like normal people, Junior gets the brilliant idea to recreate the show in real life. At first, it seems like harmless fun, but then Jeffy takes it way too far. This dude literally takes a dump in Chef Pee-Pee's food. Bro, that's not a prank, that's just a crime. But somehow, Junior one-ups him by pulling one of the most insane pranks I've ever seen. He poisons Chef Pee-Pee with rat poison. And then get this, Junior actually thought it would only kill rats. And when Chef Pee-Pee dies, does Junior feel bad? Nope, he just blames the rat poison company. Easily one of the wildest and funniest SML videos ever ever made. Alright, at number 7, we have Jeffy's Skibbity Toilet, and this entire episode's plot is making fun of brain rot, so strap in. From the second this video starts, Jeffy is on another level of insanity. He's spitting out random memes non-stop, calling himself Skibbity, and yapping about the Mercedes CLR GTR. Basically, he's just completely breaking Marvin's brain. And if that wasn't bad enough, Brooklyn Guy shows up and starts making everything worse. Instead of stopping Jeffy, he fully enables him. Like, he's just as unhinged, if not even more. Dang, Brookie, I didn't know you were hip with the kids. Marvin is then tasked with passing the brain rot quiz so he can defeat the Skibbity Toilet God. For this, Marvin has to do things like mewing, outrunning LeBron James over a Sprite Cranberry, and kissing Shrek. Yes, that Shrek. What is even happening in this video? I remember I was in literal shock when I first watched it, but honestly, this video is so unique that I had to put it here on the list. But SML, please don't start using actual brain rot in your videos on a regular basis. Please just keep this a one-time thing. Brooklyn Guy gets fired. So you know how Brooklyn Guy is in like every single video? Well, apparently the SML crew noticed this too, because this whole episode is literally just about them firing him for being in too many videos. They sit him down in a super official looking corporate meeting, reading off complaints from fans like Brooklyn Guy is overused and we only care about Jeffy. Logan even goes on to roast Brooklyn Guy for his videos not getting any views compared to Jeffy videos. Dang, they really went there. And Pumpkin Guy, I mean Jeffy Cop, I mean Ballbuster Brookie. sorry, I had an itch in my throat. Let me restart. Brooklyn Guy's life just completely falls apart. First, he loses his job. Then, he can't even afford to pay for his Outback Steakhouse dinner. And finally, he gets thrown into the Forgotten Character Dungeon. Yes, this is actually a real thing. And guess who's in there? None other than Woody, Tour Guide Goofy, and a bunch of other forgotten SML characters. But the real highlight is Juan, aka the new Brooklyn Guy. This dude is the most hilariously awful replacement ever. He's a fake Mexican doctor who only talks in catchphrases and is completely incompetent. Like, if SML wanted to prove that no one could ever replace Brooklyn Guy, they absolutely nailed it. This is easily one of the most creative and funny Brooklyn Guy videos they've ever made. But now, we're on to the top 5. And first, we have Brooklyn Guy's Christmas tree. And the plot for this video is unmatched. So it all starts with Marvin trying to have a normal Christmas. But of course, Brooklyn Guy has to come and ruin everything. The dude doesn't just steal Marvin's Christmas tree, he straight up makes up a fake name, Christmas Tree Chris, and tries to convince Marvin that he's the real victim. Bro, you literally stole the tree. And just when you think it can't get any dumber, the tree war begins. Marvin steals it back, also going under the name Christmas Tree Chris. So Brooklyn Guy shows up half naked to Marvin's house demanding it back. Then, instead of acting like normal human beings, they start straight up fighting over it. And what happens? The tree snaps in half. This is easily one of the best SML Christmas videos ever made. It's got chaos, stupidity, Brooklyn Guy being an absolute menace to society. Honestly, what more could you want? At number 4 is the Charlie and Friends problem. It starts when Braxton, the biggest Charlie and Friends fan of all time, finds out that his favorite show is getting rebooted. And it's terrible. Like, they completely ruined it. Instead of the funny Charlie everyone loves, he's now just an animated character making bad fart jokes every 5 seconds. And Braxton, yeah, he does not take it so well. The dude gets so mad that he straight up yeets Chef Pee-Pee across the room like he's in a WWE match. But it doesn't stop there. Oh no, Braxton goes full on psycho mode. He finds out the whole reason the reboot sucks is because the TV network made a massive mistake with ratings. Basically, someone named Heather can't read and thought people wanted a trashy version of the show. And Braxton ain't having it. So what does he do? He grabs a gun, storms into the TV station like it's an action movie, and suddenly he's holding the manager at gunpoint, demanding that they fix the show. And then the manager pulls out a gun too. They are literally having a standoff over a TV show. But to make the episode even more insane, the manager casually drops that he kidnapped his own writer and locked him in the trunk of a car because he was mad about the bad script. Like, what? This episode is hilarious, chaotic, and honestly way too real when it comes to how fans react to bad reboots. minutes. But seeing Braxton go full-on Rambo over Charlie and Friends is what makes this video an absolute classic. Coming in at number 3, we have Jeffy attacks the judge. And holy crap, this video is good. It starts with Jeffy stealing a $10 Minecraft toy from Target, but apparently Brooklyn guy didn't have anything better to do, so he brings Jeffy to court over this petty theft. And while in court, Jeffy isn't having it, so he crashes out and attacks the judge. But here's where things get even crazier. Instead of stopping, Jeffy just keeps attacking the judge over and over, to the point where they literally have to bring in a new judge. And guess what? He gets destroyed too. At this point, Jeffy is some sort of final boss who just cannot be stopped. Bro's even attacking them through a phone. How is that even possible? Then Jeffy gets sentenced to death. Yeah, they actually tried to execute him, but they couldn't hold him in a normal jail cell, so Brooklyn guy yaps for 3 minutes in an animated story about how ridiculously secure of a place they have him trapped in. But yeah, Jeffy somehow escapes that, and just when you think it's over, bam, plot twist. Judge Poopy is still alive, and apparently the whole thing is staged, because Judge Anthony paid him to do it so they could go to Disney World. Yeah, you heard that right. This episode is just straight up insanity in the best ways possible. It's got fights, ridiculous plot twists, and the most random Disney World ending ever. But taking the number 2 spot is Jeffy's 20th birthday, and trust me, this video is insane. We finally get a deep dive into Jeffy's past, and let me tell you, it is way darker than anyone expected. So it starts off with a flashback from when Jeffy was just a little kid, and oh boy, it's rough. His mom Nancy was absolutely terrible to him and his sister Phoebe. We're talking full-on neglect, no food, and straight up abuse. And just when you think it can't get any crazier, we learn about CJ, who would do extremely messed up things to Jeffy's sister Phoebe. And I can't say any of this without getting demonetized, so I'm just not gonna say it. But the highlight of this video though is when Jeffy gets his revenge. He literally drives a monster truck straight into his old house, with the CJ guy who made his childhood a living nightmare strapped right to the front of the truck. Like, imagine smashing all the trauma and bad memories into the ground with a giant monster truck. That's the definition of an absolute power move. This episode stands out because it's so much more than just Jeffy's antics. It's dark, emotional, and actually makes you feel something. It's the kind of episode that sticks with you after a long time of watching it. And finally, taking the number 1 spot for the best SML movie of 2024 easily goes to Junior Goes to Jupiter. No, I'm not even kidding. Let me explain. It starts with Penelope saying the famous quote that all kids say. Boys go to Jupiter to get more stupider, and girls go to college to get more knowledge. And Junior, being the absolute buffoon that he is, decides that for some reason he wants to go to Jupiter now. So he casually gets into a spaceship with Cody, and they head off to Jupiter. But the only problem is, they didn't bring anything on board with them. So now they're stuck for the next 6 years with a lifetime supply of raisins and a copy of probably the worst movie in all of existence, Max Keeble's Big Move. Obviously, Cody loses his mind when he finds this out. He even goes as far to say that he'd rather be in a North Korean work camp than endure this for the next 6 years. Skip forward 4 years later, and Junior and Cody have completely lost it, speaking a new Keeble language that they made up.
Keeble, Keeble.
Max Keeble?
Keeble, Max.
Max Keeble.
Max Keeble, Keeble.
Keeble Max Big.
Big move, Keeble.
Max Keeble.
Big Keeble move.
Keeble Max.
Keeble big.
Big move.
Keeble big move'll Max.
Max Meeble.
Max Meeble move'll Meeble Mega Biggle.
Keeble Max Move.
Keeble Miggle Biggle Wiggle.
This is easily the best video of 2024, just because of how stupid funny it was. Let me know if you agree with my rankings down in the comments below. And if you guys want to see a series where I literally rank every single SML video, make sure to show your support on this one so I can eventually rank every single video. Like, I'm serious. I'll do it. I'm unemployed. I just sit at home all day and yap about SML. Don't test me.